Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Scott McMicken on the ever expanding.
Let's jump in with this new project. You have an album coming out the 31st in a couple weeks.
Yeah. March 31st, Anti Records is putting it out. A label I had experience with. Dr. Dog put out 4 or 5 albums with them about maybe 8 or so years ago. So that was nice that they were down to help me get the record done and are now helping me put it out and all that. Feels like familiar friends and people I've worked with before. And yeah, the group's called Scott McMicken and the Ever Expanding, which felt like a good catch-all name to enable me to pursue a future of solo releases that could change in identity and morph in its personnel and so forth. I just wanted a name that it's like you don't want every project you do to have a different name, basically. So I was trying to kind of gear the name around being malleable for whatever it is I choose to do with the solo side of things. And the album's called Shebang. And yeah, March 31st. Really excited. It's been an amazing experience through and through. And these days of finally releasing stuff are always a thrill to kind of put some closure on the process.
Of the songs, were they road tested, or was everything written specifically for this band and done in the studio?
So the project basically started. I like well the short version of it all is I had been working alone at home on a ton of music for about a year or two, pretty much starting around the pandemic up until like a year ago or something. And my intentions with that process were to complete all that music on my own. And in doing so, it forced me to learn more about how to record it myself, how to get better at various instruments, how to get better instruments. The whole thing wound up being sort of an exercise and giving me a way to like improve my abilities as a multi instrumentalist and engineer and stuff. But then when I got to the end of all this music, I had felt very satisfied, like in how much I had learned by putting myself through that process, but the music just didn't feel done. So, long story short, I had all this music that I had really worked really hard on, um, but it didn't feel done. So, I started talking to my friend Nick, who's a producer and an engineer with a studio in upstate New York, who wound up doing Shebang. And I explained to him, but I had this mountain of music that I wanted to finish, but it didn't feel finished, and I just wanted his perspective. And then after a few rounds of conversation, we just realized that basically the thing missing from this music was the sort of human, spontaneous, live feeling that I was trying to synthesize as one guy, putting one track in at a time. And so we decided naturally to approach it as the opposite of what I had done, which was get a full big live band and view the recording process as essentially a live show that's being recorded. Um, and so that said, I went into this record with a ton of material already written. And I was intent on taking that music I had already written and putting it through these final paces of a good live band and put all that spirit and soul into it. And but then in the end, like it wound up being like about half the record is stuff that had existed in that previous pass of me trying to do it on my own, and then about half of it I had written right around the time of going into record. But even the stuff that I had written and had already worked heavily on, I didn't bring that stuff to the table with the band saying you have to do it this way or something. I would show them the versions I had made, and I would make it clear like if there's anything compelling about this, we can sort of jump off of it. But ultimately, my goal here is to just find what might naturally occur amongst this group of people. So it was like a mix of some old stuff that had gotten heavily worked, but then had gotten turned loose and brought to the table in a fresh new way of approaching it. And then the second half of it was all new stuff.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.